Good evening and welcome to the viewers of the Mojo Story, our independent digital platform. In a moment from now, another big guest is coming up on the platform. Actually today. And these are the pictures that you can see there of Urmila Matondkar as she joins the Shiv Sena, making that alliance formal. It was expected for a while, but there are many questions to ask and answer about why exactly Ms. Matondkar chose to leave the Congress, why the Shiv Sena. Of course, as coincidence would have it, both of these parties are now in alliance, but what would have happened had they not been in alliance? This and a lot more to ask Urmila Matondkar today as she joins the Shiv Sena after leaving the Congress. Now, Urmila, welcome to the program and congratulations on your new innings. I think what everyone wants to know is what made you do it.
Well, when I came into politics, it was with a single motive that I wanted to work for people, for grassroots people, for people who cannot be reached for some reason or the other. So I joined Congress, and of course, I was given 28 days and a Lok Sabha rate that put forward, which everybody knows, blah, blah, blah. Of course, post the election, I just felt somewhere that there were lots of things which went wrong during my time of campaign. And I wanted a certain things to be done on that, etc., etc. All of that you must be aware of. So I don't want to, again, cut the long story short. I just wasn't probably ready for the kind of things I was having to deal with internally within the party, etc. And so therefore there was a decision to leave the party. Then thereafter, unlike many others, in fact most others, I didn't go in a few hours and join another party because that was never the thought. Even though possibly every party in the country did offer me great perks, and they offered me to come in their party as well, and I thank them for that. But that was not the intention. That's not with what I left Congress. So I just gave it time. I kind of took a back seat, but I had said at that time, though, that I'm not leaving politics. I'm just going to continue working in my own capacity and with my own dignity, and which I did for a year. However, you realize that the level on which you want to work, you cannot work till you have a party support, and it's much bigger and better if you have it. So when I received a call from Shri Uddhav Thackeray, and when I met him, before that, of course, for a year, I was looking at the kind of work the Congress, NCP and Shiv Sena, the Maha-Aghadi Sarkar has been doing in Maharashtra, which is commendable. It has been a very difficult year for Maharashtra. And I think somewhere I was quite happy as a citizen of Maharashtra looking at it. When he called me, he said a very interesting thing. He said, we need to uplift the social and cultural standard of Vidhan Parishad in Maharashtra. And so forward thinking and forward, thing. So that is what somewhere struck the chord. And of course, we had discussions, and then I was ready to join another party.
Now, let me ask you one by one. Firstly, there are people, Urmila, who are going to say that you are showing that you had no ideology. Right? There are people who are going to say that. They're going to say that you campaigned for the Congress, you won a seat on the Congress, and the Shiv Sena and the Congress may be in alliance today, but they have absolutely nothing in common ideologically. What would you say to that, to people who say that Urmila Matondkar does not stand for anything ideologically?
Well, to begin with, would like to remind them that I had 28 days. And in those 28 days, if I made any name for myself as a beginner politician, that was not due to any lack of ideology. It was because I stood by my ideology. However, when I said that, I also always maintained that that ideology was closest to Congress. I never said that I was a Congressee by my soul or by. I also remember being a part of the anti-corruption movement that was started with by Anna Hazare ji, and I also, you will find my pictures on the Google if you look at it in Main Anna Hazare Topi during that time. So that was essentially against Congress as well. So I have basically been for people more than anything with some anti something or anti this or that. So when I realized that with this particular party, I'm not being able to work the way I wanted to, I have shifted away from it. Whereas the question of ideology comes in, I guess essentially they're talking about secularism versus Hindutva policy, which they definitely have a point. But can I be very honest here? And I believe that both the words secularism and Hindutva, I feel somewhere in the translation have lost its soul. There has been a big funny confusion, and there is constantly, first of all, religion being spoken and thrown at each other's faces instead of core issues being discussed. But now, since we are talking about ideology, I always said that, first of all, being secular, unfortunately, has been constantly, maybe because of the constant agenda and propaganda that has been created by the opposition, has been misunderstood as a complete, lack of any kind of religious feelings, or a kind of anti-religion intellectual position or something like that, which then the whole intellectual terrain of discussion shifts away from the core issue of existence, and also from the sublimation of religiosity on one hand. So basically, both the words have become more about opportunism than actuality of the words. Whereas Hindutva, which Hindu I am, a born Hindu, and by my karma Hindu. So I understood it. I have always understood and spoken about it, even during my campaign, in the rightest sense of the word, what it stands for, which it stands for liberal, tolerant, all-inclusive kind of religion, which are free to follow. To be honest, when you talk about dharma, it is not even just a religion. It's a very small concept, a English translation of it. It's a way of life. It's what could I say, state of mind. Also, in a way, code of conduct. Which helps a human being to attain his highest, most self. So this is the Hinduism, the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which I spoke about repeatedly during my this with Congress as well. That is what Hinduism has been. But unfortunately, the minute anybody apart from a certain party speaks of this, they are, my own lines were misconstrued, twisted, turned around, and they were thrown around in my own name, etc., etc., etc. Having said all of this mumbo jumbo, point remains that there are only two types of people: the ones who will work and the ones who will not work, and keep on talking about mumbo jumbo. I would like to be one of those people who will work, and who will work irrespective of anything that will segregate people. They'll work for, there are only two things for me: rich people and poor people. And I want to work for those poor people, and I will do that.
Okay. Now you've said lots of different things. Let's go one by one. Now that you're in Shiv Sena, I think you can speak about this openly. Why did you leave the Congress? What actually happened? One of the comments that you made in this interview right now is you could not work the way you wanted to. What stopped you? What stopped you? Who stopped you?
I think after more than a year of leaving Congress, when I left Congress, there was a lot of flack that I faced, lot of criticism I faced. Mainly because people love to just, normalize things and just put people in, boxes. So I was one of the many actors who just left away as soon as the elections were over, etc. I took all that flack and I didn't speak about the party because I thought that it would get a lot of flack to the party. And that was not the intention. I wish Congress bashing was a solution to most of the problems in the country, but it isn't. And I'm not going to begin talking about it now. I can only say that I still have respect for Sonia Gandhi ji, Rahul Gandhi ji, people like Balasaheb Thorat back in Maharashtra Congress, etc. So, but there were certain things in which I couldn't continue to work. And that's why I left. After about 14 months of not being in the party, I don't think it is fair to today talk about it, because I don't want to, talk about it in a derogatory manner, which it will sound.
So your problem was clearly not at the top. Your problem was within the Maharashtra unit. Do you want to name the people you had the problem with?
No, it was not even in Maharashtra unit. It had a lot to do with Mumbai Congress as well. It had a lot to do with, so basically, during my campaign, and a lot of people also have this complete misconception that I left because I lost. Trust me, I have a way bigger heart and an extremely strong mind to have just run away with one. I had 28 days, Barkha. I'm not stupid. I'm a lot of other things. I'm not downright stupid. I didn't want to contest the election. I must have been only actor who didn't want the ticket. I wanted to work for the party and I wanted to speak on its behalf, etc. But I was given a ticket, and I'm extremely glad and grateful towards Congress Party for giving me that opportunity. But I worked day in and day out. I worked only in the areas where nobody would normally even dream of going. You look at my footage from my, campaign times, etc. Every big channel in the country, including yourself, came to see that campaign and cover it. So that itself, I gave it everything I had and more. So that itself speaks for what was there. But during that whole thing, there was not the kind of efforts put in by others. There was not other, there was, like I said, I have already written the letter on it. Then the letter was also leaked and it was made public. Abhi kya bolu yaar, ek baras baad वापस वही
अच्छा ये बताइए, एक बरस छोड़िए. One of the reasons that you are seen to have joined the Shiv Sena is reports have suggested they were impressed with how you handled the controversies around Kangana Ranaut. Now you have said today that Kangana Ranaut, you don't want to spend a lot of energy on her, but the fact of the matter is the fact of the matter is you have joined a party which is in direct clash with her. You have joined a party which has clashed with her. The demolition of her office and home was also seen to be politically motivated. She attacked the Shiv Sena every day. The Shiv Sena attacked her every day. As an actor, and I know Kangana called you, a soft porn star. She slurred you. You hit back. But today, how do you think your party, now the Shiv Sena, should handle Kangana Ranaut?
I don't think there is anything to handle. What is there to handle? I think the whole issue was given way more importance than it should have been given. It was discussed way more. But of course, I doubt if anybody kind of goes to those kind of levels to go on and on and on and on and on about something. So she did. And whatever reasons and agendas were, I hope she met up with them and she's happy about it finally. So I just wish her that peace. That's it.
But would you advise
to handle, honestly?
No, would you advise your party that? Would you advise your party to do that? Because the party seems to be locked in a ferocious battle with her and with a television anchor called Arnab Goswami. Those are the two individuals that the Shiv Sena government seems locked in a battle with.
No. I think it is just giving complete and wrong, showing these things in a complete wrong light. And certainly, certain people like you shouldn't be doing it, because I think there are two different issues to begin with. Let's just finish with the first one that you started with. Well, already nobody in the party seems to be interested. Uddhav Thackeray was asked about it, I think a couple of days ago, and he didn't have anything to say about it. It is one of the many things that happened. It happened, it's past, and it's continued. Now, if you want to go on and on, it's her choice. I mean, we are in a democratic country, right? And we do have a freedom of expression. So why take it away from anybody? If somebody is getting great relief, solace, and peace of mind by that, let them get it. And about the anchor, I don't think, again, first of all, there was a proper case. It wasn't like, the case was just ripped up or taken out or whatever. I don't know how it got shut when it got shut, but it did. So it was it had nothing to do with him being anchor or speaking in a certain manner. It could happen with you and me if something was written like that and was found next to a dead body. So I don't understand why the UN cry about the freedom of speech. And I wonder which garden they go for a walk when it happens in the other parts of the country. That doesn't justify what happened in Maharashtra. But I think what's happening in certain parts of countries cannot even be compared to what happened here. I mean, it is really, really sad, and I can go on for another 20 minutes to tell you. I don't have to tell you as to what all has happened there. That's a point where people are just going to report. I mean, excuse me. And there are acts like UAPA and NSA that are put on them, and they are put behind the bars, and nobody seems to care. An 83-year-old man is asking for a sipper and a straw is not given with a Parkinson. I mean, what are we talking about? Let's just get real here.
So you've said a lot of different things, but let me ask you to look back at that time when you clashed with Kangana Ranaut. Do you regret anything you said at that time, or do you stand by every word you said?
I stand by every word. And I would say it again, but again I'm saying it. I did not say it to be against her or whatever. I said it for the people of Maharashtra. I said it because it was important for me to speak up to the people of Maharashtra and for them and to them that, they cannot get carried away with someone who seems to be agenda driven and who's going on and on and on about it. And that clearly was not the reality of the situation. So that is what I was trying to put in a perspective. I was not at all trying to, criticize her or anything. I was just trying to put things in the proper perspective.
Okay, tell me this. I remember the last time we spoke, you said that actually the BJP was also keen that you join them. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I never said that BJP was keen to join me
No?
for me to
You
join
said
them.
every party.
I
You
said
said every
most
party
of
has reached
yes,
out to
every
me.
party agreed and reached, and I don't think which party approached and which didn't is relevant right now.
Okay. You would not have considered the BJP though, because you started by saying that, you feel the secularism and Hindutva are corroded concepts today. They've been politicized. In that case, would the BJP have been an option for you?
No, because I think that is an ideology which is way far away from where I come from, and I don't think so.
Okay. There's a question for you from a viewer which says, what did you see specifically in the Shiv Sena over the Congress to make this switch?
The way they have been working for the last 1 year, you see what Shiv Sena has been and what it has stood for and what it has, whatever we all know. But ever since coming into the power, 3 months the government got in a normal circumstances. Thereafter, COVID hit very badly, and there was no looking back, unfortunately. And there was also a very bad, very very difficult year, like I said earlier, with the farmers' situation. Not one, two, three, many of them. And so, in general, it has been probably one of the most difficult years for Maharashtra. And the way CM Uddhav Thackeray ji has handled the situation, at times he was strict with the people of Maharashtra. At times he was like an elderly person of the family towards the people of Maharashtra. He has taken them in confidence. He has taken them, and he has tried to do his best, because you cannot forget that these places like Pune and Mumbai, which are such cosmopolitan places and which have people coming from all over India and country and the world possibly in it. It was extremely difficult task to control all of that with the Dharavi, Jhopadpatti, Islam area,
Yeah.
etc. It was mammoth. So whether it was that, whether it was coming and helping the farmer situation, I think he has been an extremely restrained, controlled, quite a dynamite kind of a leader, which is what Maharashtra needed at that time, and yet extremely low key and quiet about most of the things, without going on and on about his achievements.
Okay. Now, the couple of questions we have only about 2-3 minutes left. As a woman in public life, and this doesn't matter what party you're in, you will be trolled in a way that men will not be. And your partner was trolled, I remember, when you were contesting elections. And there's a question from Afroz Ahmed. You are very diplomatic and intelligent, Urmila, but how will you handle the trolls who even drag your husband's name to score petty points?
I am very, very lucky, very fortunate that I have an extremely strong-minded husband, probably more strong-minded than even I am, and his parents are equally so, and extremely supportive and strong-minded, and liberal-minded as well. And the thing is, Barkha, I wear this, and they're not trolls, they're IT cell trolls. There's a specification in that. I wear them like big medals on myself, because they are the ones who are telling me that I'm going on the right way, and I'm not going to back off. And now that I'm in Shiv Sena, I'm certainly never going to go on a back foot. No way. Let it come.
I like the let it come attitude. Saraswati Iyer says, what is your agenda? Can you speak a little bit about your agenda? How are you going to make a difference in Maharashtra? Talk about the Maratha quota. What about language? Not everyone is comfortable speaking in Marathi. And is there a concern that Bollywood will move to UP?
Quite a lot of questions there, but good ones.
Yeah.
So no, to begin with, my immediate attention is definitely going to be on women, their health issues, involving security and health issues, because I feel women are the easy soft target in a family, and they never look after themselves. Then the children and their education. So the education of children's health in general, and women. And secondly, Marathi, I think nobody has forced anybody to speak in it. If you can, excellent, because that's a natural thing. I mean, I would love to go and start speaking in a Tamil or in a Bengali if I shift to those respective states. But nobody, I mean, everybody in Mumbai and Pune even, are so cosmopolitan that language has never been an issue, and nor will it ever be. Coming to Bollywood, or I don't really like that word particularly.
The film industry. The film industry.
It was born in Mumbai. It was born in Mumbai. It got nourished and flourished in Mumbai into a beautiful, tree that it is become today. So it is not just about the placement of film industry, just because a few films go to shoot here or there. its what you call it, pulse is related to Mumbai city and vice versa. So one of the many things which Mumbai city is known for is the Hindi film industry. So people have come. I mean, it is started by Dada Saheb Phalke and the great V. Shantaram, but then people from all over came to Mumbai for a certain reason and made it big here. So that's the connection that cannot be just formed in like 1 day and 2 days.
Okay. Last question. The politics and the movie industry are very different. What is the similarities that you see, and what is the biggest difference that you see?
Well, biggest difference is that the similarity is that both are intensely people connected, fields, and that is the most amazing thing. But in one, you can be in your ivory tower, be happy, and just keep looking down at the world and say, my life is lovely. And here, one needs to get down from the ivory tower, needs to get down to the grassroots, literally within those people. And that's the part, having lived in the ivory tower, I think that attracts me the most. Having come from a family that has been always socially committed, that I'm dying to do and I want to do, and that I will do, Barkha. In film industry, when I started my career, I said there are a lot of media-made star and I am a people-made star. And I will tell you today that I will be a people-made leader one day. And I will work towards that. And that's the biggest difference, that you need to go amongst those people, feel their pulse, their problems, their issues, and then work on it. And that's what I intend to do.
What is your unfulfilled dream that you've said that you will be a people-made leader one day? You have maintained that throughout, and you said even in your movies. I remember when you were rebutting the way Kangana Ranaut had attacked you, you said, "I'm a star that was made by people." Now you want to be a politician that's made by people. In the end, Urmila, what has been the most difficult, painful, hurtful thing in your journey so far in the public eye, either as an actor or as a politician, that has hurt you the most, that has taken you time to get up from, and say, I'm going to live another day?
Nothing. Just the spirit of Mumbai is Urmila Matondkar spirit and vice versa. Nothing can keep me down, and nothing has ever kept me down, honestly. And to be honest, one of the biggest reasons is my strength has come from those people who made me that star that I have been for years, and who are even today with me. That is why when the whole shenanigan was over, I had only thanked them. Because those are the real people of India, and those are the people I'm committed to, and I will work for whatever their issues are and wherever they come from.
Okay, Urmila, thank you and all the best. I think it's great to have tough, outspoken, feisty, high-spirited women in politics, irrespective of which party they are in. They have every right to dream, and these are the images we're leaving our viewers with today as you officially join the Shiv Sena. One day I'm going to get the real story out of you on what happened with the Congress and who it happened with. But till then, thank you, Urmila, and all the best.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, and thank you to our viewers.